Hey guys, I'm here with Patsy. So Patsy has completed a 12-week program with us at Orifit. So Patsy has done very, very well on this program. Came on it for a slightly different reason to maybe some other people. Being a new mum, being busy with things like that as well, especially going into lockdown. So she had a really good goal that we set out to achieve, and we've cracked it. So I'm going to pass you over to Patsy, and she's going to talk about her experience so far.
Yeah, so look, I had my first baby in August last year. And I didn't gain a huge amount of weight in pregnancy, but just after the baby sort of arrived, I was kind of, had very little time to think about anything. And I was just, grabbing food wherever I could. I wasn't exercising at all, obviously, because I just had the baby. But once I got to, I think I was about 10 weeks postpartum, I was keen to sort of, get a little bit back into shape, stop wearing my maternity jeans, start wearing normal clothes again. So I needed something that was convenient. I think at that time, gyms probably weren't open again, but there was just absolutely no chance I was going to be able to carve out, an hour of my day to go to a gym class or to go and spend time at the gym. So I needed something that was, online and quite tailored because I did want to get back into shape, and I sort of, wanted to improve body composition, but I didn't have, I didn't want to lose loads of weight or have some huge transformation because my main priority was still looking after my new baby and particularly feeding my new baby. And so I wanted to do something that was, quite gradual and kind of at my own pace. And so, I spoke to John. I'd worked with John in the past, sort of on a more transformation kind of way. And, we talked about setting a goal that was appropriate for what, my current sort of situation was. So that was really great. We were sort of on board with doing it quite nice and slowly and making sure that it didn't impact my kind of lifestyle and, breastfeeding my baby and all of that sort of stuff. So I was really happy with that kind of approach. But the main thing for me as well was making sure that I had some kind of accountability because I sort of knew what I needed to do. I just didn't really have the motivation to do it. I'd sort of be like, oh yeah, I know I need to stop eating that, or I know I need to rein that in a little bit, or, do some more weights, but I just couldn't really, I didn't have the mental energy to kind of set that up for myself. So having the daily check-ins with John and having someone to kind of report to kind of
Yeah.
made all the difference, I think. And having obviously the program set up in the first place, I've done a lot of weight programs and stuff in the past, but again, actually putting something together for myself, I just wasn't going to be able to do it. I think it was a lot more kind of I guess bespoke and tailored to what I wanted. And I know that those transformations do absolutely work, and it worked when I did it with you in the past, but for me it kind of, I think that I wanted something that was long lasting and that was kind of habit forming and wasn't just that quick, here's your results and then afterwards it's like, well, back to square one kind of thing. So yeah, doing it kind of more slowly and at a pace that I was happy with was really good. And it sort of, I didn't feel like I was ever depriving myself of anything, and so therefore, I didn't feel the need to kind of rebel against it. It was sort of, I felt well fed. I felt like my exercise, I wasn't pushing myself to, absolute exhaustion. Training 10 times a week. I felt, I felt happy and kind of comfortable throughout it. My number one concern when I sort of started, any form of exercise or, quote unquote diet, like anything where I'm not just eating literally anything that I want. My main concern was my milk supply because it's completely determined by your hormones. And I had in the past had issues where, my hormonal balance had been out. And so I was really, really fixated on making sure that my milk supply was not impacted because, I was only 10 weeks after giving birth. And so actually when we were going through the program, and I did notice, a little bit of a milk supply dip. I sort of thought, I don't feel like I'm producing as much as I used to. I can see it when I'm expressing that I'm not quite getting enough. I immediately told you, and we, every single day, sometimes twice a day, we were checking in going, okay, let's increase the calories to this. Let's do this with the output. How is that impacting the milk supply? And I mean, we fixed it within less than a week, I think. And that made me feel really, I felt really supported and happy, because on the one hand, I was like, obviously I don't want my milk supply to be impacted. But on the other hand, I think we were about halfway through the program then. And I thought, I really don't want to lose the results. I don't want to just go straight back up to the weight I was before. But actually, we managed to find my kind of maintenance calories and input output, which meant that, I could maintain those results without having any impact on my milk supply. And I felt, my body felt less stressed as soon as we increased the calories, changed things to match that. So that was really good, because sometimes like with trainers, the program is like got to get the results and really focused on that. But obviously for me, there was more to it than just weight loss. I wanted to have something healthy that worked for continuing to breastfeed as well. So that was really great. I'm down basically to what I was a few months before I got pregnant, which is great. And I can also feel kind of body composition wise, sort of not as soft as I was after I had my son, and fitting into clothes again, which is nice. I'd sort of, it's quite easy in lockdown to just be in your stretchies all the time. But I do. And so I hadn't actually noticed that my clothes had started fitting again until I was packing for, I'm going back to where I'm from, to New Zealand. And I was thinking, God, I haven't worn these summer clothes that aren't maternity clothes for, like near on 2 years now. And so, but I was trying them, and I was kind of dreading trying them on. But then when I did, I was like, oh, actually, yeah, everything's fitting again. So, so that was really great. I mean, I think for me, particularly, being a new mum, it was so customizable and adaptable that, I think when I first contacted you, I had a little bit of the fear, like, oh, it's going to be really strict, and it's just going to be too hard, and I'm not going to be able to find the time, and, oh, I'm not going to want to cut out food and that kind of thing. But then as soon as we sort of caught up initially, it kind of put my mind at ease, because the program, I really enjoyed the weights that you set. Actually, I should talk about the variety of it as well, because I think we changed it 3 times throughout the program, and it's 2 or 3 sort of days of weights. And so I never felt like, oh God, I've got to do that, that set of exercises again. Like, it was really varied, which I think really helped kind of keep the interest a bit. But yeah, I mean, I just found it so, like, it was kind of, I don't want to say it was easy, but it was kind of, it was quite easy. It kind of fit into my life. I could do the workouts, around the baby. It was, you're just doing 3 workouts a week, and then the rest can be stuff that you do, like, maybe I'd do low impact going for a walk with Connor, or something like that. So I found it easy to fit it into my, a schedule that at the time I felt like I didn't have a single second to myself. But I was still able to fit it in. And the food stuff is really good, because I felt like when I wasn't able to control, I wasn't cooking all of my meals or whatever, I was still able to kind of stick to the program more or less, and kind of not have my results impacted. Like, within, I think, 2 weeks of starting the program, I decided, this was back when there was still some travel permitted towards the end of summer. We thought, oh God, let's just get away for 10 days. We've been locked down all year. And so within 2 weeks of starting the program, I said to you, yeah, we're going to be going on holiday for 10 days. You're not going to like this, but also we hadn't, because when restrictions were eased, I gave birth. And so then, you know, we couldn't really go to restaurants because we had a newborn. So I was like, there's no way I'm going on this holiday and just eating like broccoli and chicken. I'm going to be enjoying the restaurants at this resort. And I did, and it didn't, you know, I was able to sort of still make good choices, still feel like I wasn't depriving myself or missing out on anything, and managed to maintain and I said to you, I think, I'm not going to lose weight in this 2-week period. I'm going to maintain it, and that will be a result for me. And you said, yeah, on board with that. And so I got to enjoy my holiday. And now I feel like, you know, I'll be able to do things like go to restaurants and that sort of thing without thinking, oh, I'm not going to be able to stick to the plan. It's, you know, it works around sort of lifestyle, which is good. And I think for anyone, but especially a new mum, you know, you will be able to find time to fit it into your schedule, and you're not going to be eating broccoli and chicken and feeling like you're deprived. You know, you're still going to be able to do what, you know, what makes you happy as well.